Well, greetings again. This is Dr. Bill Wyatt with the American Orthodontist Society, and I wanted to talk to you something about just plain life and what's happening during your life and why people come to me and ask me, how have you lived this long? This next Sunday I'll be 96 years old, and say, what did you do to do that? I don't really know for sure what it is, but there's several things that help you live a long time, I do believe. And one of them is finding something in life that is very meaningful to you and is meaningful to other people that you come in contact with. And I was saying, what makes a person happy? Is it going out here and getting something for yourself? I mean, a new car, and you're happy for a little while, or a better house, and you're happy with that for a little while. But real happiness is what you do for other people. In other words, you see somebody that has some problem that you can fix, that you can help them with, and you help them over it. Maybe it's somebody with a joint problem and pain, and you know what's wrong, and you can correct it, and that person is happy, and it makes them happy, and it makes you happy. It's to the point that you'd almost hire somebody to come let you work on them to make them happy. I mean, so you have something in life that is you're doing constantly or very frequently that changes people's lives, and you're making them happy. And by making them happy, this is a longer lasting happiness than just getting something that satisfies me alone. See, that's not really where it's found. And so I wanted to bring this point out. Now, when I was young, I grew up in an orthodontic office, and they were correcting people's teeth. And I went to school and sat in there where my stepmother was working for this orthodontist. And he finally down the line straightened my teeth. And I saw how this man worked and what he was doing. And it gave me a incentive to do this. And this was in the 40s. And so I said to myself, I'm going to learn to do this. And I wanted to share this with people. Anybody, I wanted to share it with them. And I wanted the orthodontic schools to teach orthodontics to people. But they wouldn't. They were not interested. They wanted to learn this and have it kind of a bird nest on the ground, and nobody else could involved in it at all. And so this is the point that I had to learn this and then to share it with the world, anybody. And so we have been in it for years, and we started this organization of the American Orthodontist Society nearly 50 years ago. And I had worked on this for several years before that, getting there. And so I've been with this organization for 50 years and working with it. And it's kind of disappointing to me when I came back to see them a few days back. Maybe not everybody in there, but it seemed like people were looking for a simple, easy way to do orthodontics. Back when we started, they would just crawl on their knees to learn anything of how they could change the teeth of people. So anyway, this has concerned me, that our young people coming along in this are not really interested in changing the lives of people. When I came up and presented this thing of restorative dentistry, or all that is just continuing orthodontics, and for a long time they thought you couldn't do the adult orthodontics, but you can, and you can do orthodontics as long as as anybody is alive. And it starts off back when you're an infant. There's a lot to learn about this. And don't be looking for some automatic something that you put it in a computer and spit out people's teeth like they ought to be. There was a guy years ago, and I'm going to use his name. His name was Donovan. And he made this statement that he had straightened more teeth than any human alive or dead. And if you looked at what the products that he came out with and what happened in there, it was a bunch of junk. And then I went to Puerto Rico one time to speak, and he had been down there, and they told me, they got up and told the audience, says, Dr. Wyatt is no Donovan. He's not going to put a bunch of stuff out here that you can make money doing it real quick. To me, orthodontics ought to be like a Rembrandt picture or something, that you've given a chance to work on somebody's facial structure and their personality, and you see these kids for years coming up through pediatric dentistry, and the Pediatric Society doesn't even want pediatric dentists to do orthodontics. What is a stupid thing? They should be the ones that, along the way, there are little things you can do and actually prevent orthodontics from, or the teeth from going into some malocclusions by what you have done to prevent it. And I've shown many cases and ways that this can be done. And this is not something you can put a plastic shell over it that's going to make it go away. That has a part of in dentistry, but it's a small part. So I am disappointed that the young people are looking for some easy, quick make to get a lot of money. And this was Donovan's idea. I'll probably get in trouble for presenting that guy's name, but he was known all over the country. So I'm going to hush now and just say, I want the people that we have in our organization to learn how to do good, solid orthodontics, and moving teeth up into gaps is no big problem. I said, well, I wanted somebody to that would be able to come over and take this ball and run with it. There's a world of orthodontics out there that is going untreated on adults, and it can be done, and it's not as difficult as people think it is. And I talked to the board about this, and they just said, well, we don't have anybody we can put on this, or we don't have anybody. We can get somebody, and they can do it. Anybody that's able to do good orthodontics can do this restorative type orthodontics. So I'm going to hush yet, and I'm going to go back and show a case that I did a few years ago that gives me happiness, and it is something that is better than what you would stamp out for. So I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope that I touch some of the people in our organization. But I'm sending this stuff out all over the world, and there are people everywhere right back, and they want to know where they can get this type of orthodontics done. And I say, well, if you can't find somebody around you, do it. Take these videos. I've just spent 7 years now putting videos on, and I've covered every aspect of orthodontics that I can think about here, from before birth to death, that orthodontics can be done. And people told me so many things, that you can't do this, you can't do that. You can do darn near anything within reason in helping people and moving their teeth as long as they live. So I'm going to sign off on this particular subject. And if I step on your toes, I'm sorry. But this is the way I feel about it. I hope you'll join our channel anyway.